What is up, Texas hockey fans, and welcome back to Clean Sheet of Eyes, where we're going to break down games 1 and 2 of the Colorado Avalanche versus the Dallas Stars in round 1. Last night was a thriller. I didn't get home till 1:15 a.m. I didn't fall asleep till almost 2 a.m. I am running on 5 minutes of sleep, and we're going to get through this. The Stars won last night in overtime in a thriller, but first, I want to thank our sponsor, Zing Zang, America's #1 Bloody Mary Mix. Get it wherever you get Bloody Mary Mix. I get it at Target. You can go to the liquor store. You can get it pretty much anywhere. Zing Zang, America's #1 Bloody Mary Mix. And shout out to Prize Picks. Use code Apollo when you sign up and get to $100 match on your first deposit. Prize Picks is a daily fantasy app where you hit more or less on every stat, every game, every night, every player. Shout out to Prize Picks. Shout out to Zing Zang. I am your host, Tony Strankman, joined always by Dom Garcia. How are we doing this morning, bud, on this fine Tuesday morning?
Man, you're probably way more tired than I am, but I needed that last night, dude. I mean, I saw your tweet this morning. Your sleep score wasn't great. I don't do one of those things, but it's because I know mine wouldn't be great either. So let me just not even know about it. But it was worth it. It was worth it. Playoff hockey. There's nothing in sport like overtime playoff hockey. And, you know, it's very nerve-wracking when you're a fan of a team that's on the ice, but man, moments like last night, you keep it and you remember those. For my Houston people, this was Jordan Alvarez against the Seattle Mariners. That's the type of roar that the American Airlines Center had for that game 2 against the Colorado Avalanche.
We've been begging for the crowd to just be in the games in the regular season pretty much the entire time we've done this podcast. Like, just a little bit more juice. Be more like Toronto, or not more like Toronto. Be more like Winnipeg or Boston or whatever you want to pull out. Like, I just need that in the regular season because game 1, the crowd was raucous before the puck drop and even in the first period. And it was a good first period, and they let up that late goal. And it was a tough game. Game 1. But we're going to break down game 2. Game 2, however, I thought the crowd was a little less frenzy in the pregame stuff and as the puck dropped and everything the first period. But buddy, that third period came and I haven't heard a crowd like that in American Airlines Center. It was impeccable. Like, best crowd I've heard, bar none, in the Stanley Cup playoffs. I've been to Nashville, been to Dallas now, and I went to the Cup final in Nashville, and that crowd was better than that Cup final in 2017 in game 3 when they just thrashed Pittsburgh. I was sitting in the top side. It was a blast in Nashville, but that crowd last night, they were chanting Blackwood, Blackwood, Blackwood at them right after that third goal. And I was like, yes, finally, we're chirping people from the stands where everyone can hear it on TV, in the crowd, in the press box. We were finally doing that as a fan base. And I needed that more than almost I needed that win. It's like I needed the fan base to be in it from start to finish. And they were pretty much in it. But game 2 last night ended at 12:06 p.m. That's when I tweeted out Colin Blackwell. It's the Colin Blackwell game. So let's break it down. Puck drop happens, and the Avalanche were much better in the first period than they were in game 1 in the first period. They created shots. They created open chances. Jake Ottinger stood on his head.
Yeah.
Then obviously you get the tripping call from Mason Marchment. It was a ticky-tacky, but whatever. It's first period. You can kind of get into the flow of the game, and Nathan MacKinnon scored pretty quick on that power play, and that took the life out of the building a little bit. The crowd was good, but it wasn't great in the first period. And yeah, that power play goal goes in, and it's just wasn't great. Did not have fun that first period very much. But Ottinger was impeccable in the first period. I mean, he was making crazy save after crazy save, open shot after open shot. He's just taking care of the boys. Obviously, it's Nathan MacKinnon on the power play. It's going to happen to everyone. Happens to us all the time. So kind of used to it, and it's not much you can really do, even though we had the 4th best penalty kill in the league this year. But the first period wasn't great from my eyes.
Yeah, and so I've been watching Victory Plus. I've watched now HBO or TNT and now ESPN's broadcast. I want to call out TNT because at home, the crowd sounded dead in game 1. And you were there, so I flipped to Victory Plus, and it was a different sound of crowd. Now, I don't know what goes on in production-wise, but it sounded lifeless game 1. Game 2, it would go in and out. It would definitely go in and out. And the ESPN broadcast actually was really good. I normally don't say that about national broadcasts, but PK Subban in between the first period broke down that McKinnon goal.
Mhm.
You can't let a guy like Nathan McKinnon skate behind the net and just it's like watching Steph Curry just go through screens and get a set of three. That's what happened. And ironically, the Dallas goal that answered looked really similar. But our PK is too good for that. Like we can't a guy that even if it's not him because they got talented players, you just can't let that happen, especially in playoff hockey. And you were right. Like the first period, it just felt like Colorado was too fast. Like the pace they were playing, it felt like I was scared for Dallas Stars players to hold the puck because we would turn it over. It was frustrating, but yeah, I thought here we go again. The momentum is from game one squeezing into game two, and luckily, whatever was said between the boys on the bench, things changed.
Yeah, the Stars got a power play with, I think, 2:24 left in the first period, I believe is
Yep.
what it was, and the first power play unit got some decent shots, not anything exceptional, but I thought it was a good power play from the top unit with Harley, Miko, Duchesne, Wyatt, and Rupe. Thought it was a decent power play to start. They just couldn't get super quality chances. I think they had a couple high danger chances, but they were tough to get to, and they weren't great shots off of it. And thought it was decent. And then the second unit comes out, Jamie Benn, Sagan, Marchment, Essa Lindell was out there, and I can't remember who the fifth guy. It was Granlund. They were out there on the ice, and like you said, behind the net, they're just battling. They're getting rebounds. This is something they didn't do in game one. It's just shoot the puck for rebounds. It's like just try to figure it out. Like just get it towards the net and see what happens. Create chaos. Agents of chaos in the playoffs is what we needed, and that's kind of what was happening on that second unit. And then the puck finds Tyler Sagan on the left circle, and it was just a slap shot. And post game, someone asked him like, "What'd you see on that goal?" And he goes, "I got a slap shot and I scored." That was it. That was the answer. Like
Yeah.
it wasn't
Yeah.
like an exceptional play. It was just hard play from the rest of the guys for checking and make sure they controlled that rebound and they found the open guy and the open guy scored. That's all it was. It was a very simple play in the grand scheme of things. And Tyler Shagan was like, "Yeah, it was cool. Like I got to score a playoff goal. Like just help the team out." Like that's all it was to him. But you could tell on the ice, like after he scored that goal, how excited everyone was for Tyler and how excited Tyler was. It's every time Tyler Shagan scores a goal, it's like it's not the same level, but Alexander Ovechkin, the way he celebrates every single goal, Tyler Shagan kind of does that. And it was really cool to see Tyler Shagan score for the first time in since November 27th or November 30th or something like that. It's been a long time since Tyler Shagan has scored a puck in the net. So that was a blast to get that with, I don't know, sub 30 seconds left on the clock in the first period to tie it and go into the second period like, hey, we didn't play that good, but we're tied right now. We didn't play better than them. We're tied going into the second period. That was huge.
Yeah. And I have my notes right here. Pre that power play, we had 6 shots on goal.
Yeah,
Like,
it was 3 shots on goal with 5 minutes left in the first period, and I was like, this is not good.
yeah, I mean, just like I said earlier, like play around the central eye. Like it felt we were scared to play hockey. Like I was like before Sagan scores the goal, I literally had it in my I was about to write it down. Like we're just playing too tight. Like we're playing too tense. Um, I get it, we're down 0-1 against a really good team, but the only thing that's gonna break through is if we loosen up a little bit, and that's exactly what we got in that power play. It was really nice to see. And both goalies had phenomenal games, but Jake Ottinger in that first period weathered a storm of fantastic shots from Colorado.
Yeah, I had a buddy who was texting me last night from college. He's a big Canes fan, so obviously we have that whole dynamic of Logan Stankoven and Mikko Rantanen now. Um, he doesn't like Mikko. He gets why Mikko didn't fit the system and all that kind of stuff. He just doesn't like the whole situation. I don't think he doesn't like Mikko necessarily. I think it's just more like he hated the situation so much. So he's talking to me about him, and he's like, "What's up with Otter?" And I was like, "Otter's been exceptional this year, but we were expected goals against before Miro went out. We were top 3 in the NHL, and then when Miro left, we were bottom 10 in the NHL. That's how much Miro means to this defense. And I was like, it's not on him. Like, he can't stop every free shooter. So that's kind of what I was explaining to him. And he did an exceptional job in that first period. And I thought just getting to the first period or first intermission with 1-1 was a huge win. And then the second period, was it 3.5 minutes in? Fourth line gets out there. And damn it, I love the fourth line. It was in the first period. I believe it was the first or second shift that the fourth line had before we get to the second period. Sorry, got to go back to this. Colin Blackwell comes in, obviously. Scratched in game one. They put him in game two. Pete DeBoer said post-game, like, Blackie, you're not going to play game one, but you're not going to be out long. Like, the whole idea behind that was, like, see what we have with Bork, see what we have with Sam and back, and see kind of what we got with that fourth line, see what's kind of cooking and what's not. But you're not going to be out long. You're going to play in this series, and it's going to happen pretty quick. I don't know if he was thinking automatically he was going to start game two, but that's what happened. Blackie got in there and was forechecking. Then he's around the net, and he just kind of he snowed Blackwood. Really, is what it was with the skates. And the Colorado guy was pissed, and he gave him a good shove. And then Colin Blackwell was immediately grabbing face, grabbing visor, shoulders, whatever he can do just to get in their head, because that's what Colin Blackwell does. He forechecks like a motherfucker. He backchecks like a motherfucker. And then he just gets in your face after the whistle for no reason at all whatsoever, just to get the crowd and the boys hyped up. And he did that in the first period and on his first or second shift. And I was like, yes, this is what I wanted from Colin Blackwell. This is why I want him in the lineup all the time, because he just does this to every team, every single team. This is what he does.
Yeah, and Robert Tiffin, like, kind of foreshadowed it when he found out that he was going to get the nod. Like, he was like, I think this is a really smart idea with just the pace that happened in game one. Like, I think Blackwell's going to shine. And little did he know. Just unbelievable game from the first period to the third from that fourth line, dude.
They were exceptional. They were fast. They were physical. They were pests. And that's what I expect out of the fourth line. And Bork does it, but he doesn't get in the opponent's head. He's a pest in a way. Like, he'll annoy people and get on the forecheck, and he'll hit people and do all those things that Colin Blackwell does. But Colin Blackwell's just meaner at the end of the day, I believe. So he's just going to, like, try to rile someone up. It doesn't matter who it is at any moment in time. But then you head to the second period, 3.5 minutes in, fourth line's out there. Sam Steele is battling between 2 or 3 Colorado Avalanche players for the puck in the offensive zone. He finally gets it out. He skates it, couple skates, and sends it over to Thomas Harley. Thomas Harley fumbled it a little bit, and I was like, come on, just get the shot off. I have a good feeling about this. Like, I had a really good feeling. And he fumbled it at a second. Then the Avalanche player is then closing in on Harley. He makes a move to his left, fires it to the right side, just a wrister, simple wrister, but there's a lot of traffic in front of the net. And he fired it at the right exact time, and he got that second goal. And all of a sudden, you're up 2-1, and the crowd's going nuts, dude. I was sitting up there, and I was like, all right, here's where we take off. This is where the game ends. Like, we are done here. We're going to get a third goal here in the next couple minutes, and it is blouses. Like, it's over. That didn't happen, but the Thomas Harley goal was exceptional. It was a great move by the fourth line just to grind to keep that puck in the offensive zone and get it over to Harley, who was arguably the best shooter on the ice at that time, and Harley made the most of it.
Yeah, and when I watched it, like, in real time, I thought Thomas Harley had an incredible deke, and then when they show the replay, like, it was really just a fumble, but it was a fumble that worked. Like, it. While you're at a Dallas Stars game, I don't know how it happens up in the press row, but it's hard to be at a hockey game and your team scores and not jump out of your chair.
It's
at home. I was losing. I scared the dog. She was asleep. She woke up. I don't know how you guys do it, but man, I lost it when Thomas Harley put that in the net. I think it was glove side. I'm pretty sure.
Yes, it was. And yeah, being in press row is tough. So especially with all the national media now, like in the regular season, you can kind of get away with stuff, especially when I'm sitting with Sam and Robert. Like, they know I'm a fan. Like, I'm up there as a fan in a suit and with my computer out tweeting the game. Like, I'm doing what I would do at home, but in the press box. And then I come in and we do this podcast. I write some blogs out right now. Last night in Texas Hockey up on apollohou.com. But yeah, it's like, it's hard. I lean back. I do this, like, to just control things, or I do a little fist pump, like right here. Like, I try to keep it mellow, but I've been talking out loud to myself during the game, which I just do at home. Like, you're just like, what are we doing here? Like, that was a holding call. That was a tripping call. Like that was offside. Like
Yes.
I'm just saying these little things under my breath next to two people that I've never met in my entire life or seen up in the press box. I had the Finnish guy right next to me, so I don't know if he even understood me. Finnish reporter was there, and that was very funny in the post game. We'll get to that, but yeah, 62 seconds is all it took for Colorado to even the scoring. They had trouble getting it out of the zone, which has been a disaster since Miro went out. Like when Miro was in the game and not even on the ice, for some reason it was like, oh yeah, we can just flip the puck out of here and we're good. But now there's like pauses and just kind of chaos with trying to get it out of the defensive zone since he went out, and it's frustrating. And it left an open lane for whoever that was that scored. I can't remember who it was, but had an open lane, just fired a wrister past Jake Ottinger. Ottinger was going to the right because he thought he was shooting right, skated and just kind of slid over and open side of the net on the left side. And that game was even immediately. 62 seconds, all it took. And frustrating nonetheless.
Yeah, it was Drury on that goal.
Okay.
Otter did as good of a job as you could. Just kind of barely snuck. Yeah, just kind of barely snuck, and really good positioning. Like, that's tough positioning to get to. Just sneaks in, and when you make the right plays, good things happen, and that's what happened for Drury. And the crowd definitely, like, Peter DeBoer got a little bit more animated in game 2 than he did game 1. Just it's when you're playing Colorado, you got to play mistake-free hockey. And what you just said has been my nightmare of, like, turning the puck over on the defensive side near Otter has just been like Colorado. They'll swarm to you. Like, they will beat you to every 50-50 puck, it felt like, especially in the beginning of the game. It got better as time kind of moved forward into the game. But, yeah, like, cleaning up that back end and just securing passes, I want to pull my teeth out whenever I see a turnover that close to Otter.
Yeah, the one defenseman was tied up with another Colorado player. The other defenseman was, I believe, on the left side of the ice in the corner, was trying to dig that puck out. The puck got out, but it went right to it went to him, and he just had an open lane. There was no one to his right side other than a Colorado player, and then the other guy's tied up right there to the left of the net. So no one's like screening for Otter, like no one's in front of the net, and he just had an open shot. And NHL players score on NHL goalies if they have an open shot. That's just what happens most of the time, unless you're Connor Hellebuck for the most part right this season. But it's what happens, and you're 2-2. And then chaos the last 10 minutes. Absolute chaos. You had 10 minutes left in the period, and you went on 3 different power plays. You had 6 minutes of a man advantage, and they did not score. And as soon as that last power play was done, Colorado then somehow gets the puck in the offensive zone. I thought it was good defense. Like, it wasn't horrible defense. It wasn't good, I guess. It was fine. You have this guy tied up, and all of a sudden he just sends a shot backhand, like, from his backside. Like, it just was an otherworldly shot where Otter has no idea that the puck is even coming. Can't even see the puck because the guy's tied up, basically. And then it's 3-2 heading into the third period with, I don't know, 27 seconds left in the second period. Like, just something you can't let happen, especially in not a must-win game, but a really want and really need to win this game type of game. And it was tough, especially when it's 3-2, and I didn't have a lot of fun with that.
Yeah, I mean, I got to tip my cap. That backhand was nasty. Just right in the corner. Like, you can say there's stuff you can do to prevent just the possession of it, but man, like, there was a lot of skill that just things like that happen. And as long as you're in the right position, you can prevent those situations from occurring. But man, like, after the goal, like you said, it was chaos. Like, we almost scored with like a couple seconds. Like, there was huge rushes, a bunch of penalties that were not called, in my opinion, and there were a bunch of penalties that were called. Marchman, like, whether he gets called for a penalty or he draws a penalty, like he's just a penalty merchant. Like just he's always involved in the really really tough calls, and you know the refs had a tough job with this because they were letting them play really physical, but um, yeah, like in the second period, that's when I noted down like the crowd let the refs have it when there was a no call,
Mhm.
and there were a few, but really disheartening to go in with less than a minute left to go down a goal, and we go into the third period. I am so scared. Just it was not fun times for Dallas Stars fans.
Yeah, so then the third period comes, and Colorado gets the first 2 minutes, basically, I would say, where they're kind of on the forecheck, and they're getting most of the offensive zone time, and then after that, it was primarily Stars getting shots on goal, but they weren't great. They weren't great shots on goal. And then there was one shot on goal where I believe it was Otter made a save, and I think it was Labushkin or maybe it was Petrovic. I can't remember. He tied up that guy and kind of shoved him out of the way out of Otters after he froze the puck. And then another 2 or 3 seconds pass, and all of a sudden Nathan McKinnon's just getting checked into the boards by Liam Bischel after the whistle. And Bischel started getting that crowd in. I think there was 14 minutes left, 13 minutes left. And I was like, we needed something. We need some kind of spark that will ignite the boys to just go get that one goal. You just need one. And then anything can happen in OT. You just need one. And I needed something from the crowd. I needed something from the boys. And Liam Bischel did that. And he hit Nate Dogg into the boards after the whistle. Well, after the whistle, it was 5 seconds or so. Like, it was so funny. Like, they skated all the way past the goal. And then all of a sudden he's hitting them into the boards for no reason other than to get in his face, basically. And Bischel just knew exactly what he was doing. Nate Dogg was smiling about it, but I think he knew he was overmatched by 6'7" Greek god Liam Bischel. And I thought that's what started to swing the momentum back in our favor, was that one hit. And then there was another one right after that.
I didn't notice like that was a key moment, but what I did notice was last end of the second period and the beginning of the third, like we were finally skating. Our speed was catching up with Colorado. We were so slow to start the game, but gradually, now that you mentioned that hit, I think you're right. I think that was really the catalyst of not only are we matching Colorado's pace, but we started to look even faster than them. I mean, we were still the passing was a little shaky, but we at least were hustling and we were beating them to the spot and then competing for the puck in puck battles.
And then my buddy texted me at 12 with 12 minutes left. And he goes, who's going to be the guy that swings the momentum? You need a spark. And I think it was just less than 12 minutes, maybe 11 minutes. And the Jamie Benn line is out there. They switched lines, by the way, at the beginning of the second period.
Yeah.
Mikko went up to the first line with Rupe and Granny, and Wyatt, Jamie, and Dadonov were on the third line again. And that just made everything so much better. That top line was incredible. They were creating chances. They were creating havoc. Granny was throwing some of the biggest hits of the game, which was awesome to see when it's a 5'9" guy out there just throwing massive hits and just making sure that he's finishing them whenever he needs to. And Mikko was throwing hits. He hit Eric Johnson like a truck earlier in the game too. So having those two lines together, I thought worked, and maybe that's the spark that DeBoer wanted, and see something with Mikko and a little bit of progress. But that Jamie Benn line is out there, and the puck's over on the boards towards the press box on the left side of the ice, and Jamie killed a guy. He killed a man. I don't know if that guy got up. I don't know how they got him off the ice. He hit him so hard. And that's when the crowd really ignited back. 12, 11 minutes left. And all of a sudden, that puck gets loose. Wyatt Johnson has 3 feet of free ice. He turns around. He flings it at the net. Bounces right off of Blackwood's chest, back onto the ice. And Evgeny Dadonov was right there. And he did the most impeccable job because he's one of the smallest guys on the ice at that time. And he was able to fend off that back checker. He got the first shot, rebound, and then he poked it through Blackwood's leg. He lifted up his pads for, I don't know why he lifted them up. Like, I think he was trying to regain his traction, and he lifted them up, and Dadonov just poked it right in between in the 5-hole. And you've got a brand new ball game. Tie game. I think there's 9 minutes left maybe at this point. And
yep.
It's a tie ball game. It's 3-3, and all of a sudden the crowd is just going at Blackwood. It's going at everyone. They're cheering. They're doing it, and then the puck dropped, and they're just chanting Blackwood, Blackwood, and that's what I wanted to see. I know it was still tied, and you're like, this is kind of dicey that you're chanting it already, but like I just wanted juice from the crowd, and I wanted juice for the players to hear that crowd just going at it for them, and that's what you got. Dadonov, that goal was the greasiest goal you could probably get in that game, and it counted. That's all. All that mattered is that it's a tie game.
Yeah, and you've been in the locker room with Dadonov. I've never seen him so animated ever.
He got after it.
In the time I've watched him, when he scored that goal and he hit the glass and everyone crowded him, I just so much years worth of emotion from Dadonov was in that 30 seconds right there. And yeah, I mean, to find that little, it was a big 5-hole. Like you said, he opened it up for him, and that type of goal was so needed because, listen, even on ESPN Plus, they show that commercial of Joe Pavelski of the Kashada. And I'm just every time I watch it, he's in uniform. I'm like, oh my gosh, what I would do for a Joe Pavelski tip in. Just some kind of, pesky, quick acting shot. And Dadonov sneaks that 5-hole, muscles it in, and the crowd goes nuts. I mean, it just, the ESPN commentators are saying, man, this place is alive. And I was like, dude, if we can come out of this thing with a win, that would be insane, because the beginning of the third period, I had a feeling that if we could just continue this pace, I think Colorado will run out of gas. And that type of goal showed Dallas was putting pressure that they couldn't handle. It was fun.
Yeah, I thought Jamie had his best game in months last night as well. They put Dadonov back with them, and all of a sudden Jamie was like, yep, ready to go. Second and third period, Jamie Benn was incredible. He almost had a goal in, I believe, the earlier part in the third period after they killed the penalty off, and he shoved it in at the net and just kept shoving, trying to get that puck to go past Blackwood. And it looked like it was on the line at one point. I don't think it ended up getting to the line that far, but there was a skate and a pad and a stick and all that kind of stuff in the way. But they went and reviewed it. It was no goal. It was a good call. But I thought Jamie was really good. And so then in the third period, Stars had the momentum by far. The crowd was in it. They were getting more shots on goal. They had more shots on goal than Colorado did last night at the end of the game. They had them at the end of the third period. They were out shooting them in the third period at one point, a 13-7. They were killing it, and they were exceptional, and they just couldn't get that fourth goal in regulation. It was great 3 periods. The second and third period were really, really good, I thought. You just had one mistake really in the second period, and it bit you in the ass because you're down 3-2. But you get it back, and you got the crowd in it, and then you go to overtime. And if you're new to hockey, overtime in the regular season is 3-on-3. It is 5 minutes, and then if no one scores, they go to a shootout. It's in and out. You get it out of there. Playoff hockey can go forever. And I've never been so tense in my life. I was a collegiate swimmer. I've never been so tense in my life before anything. That overtime period, I was like, we need anything. And it was, and let me read the John Boyd tweet from 2014. Mind you, this tweet happened early days of Twitter. Why watch overtime playoff hockey when you can simply snort cocaine and ride a motorcycle out of a helicopter? And that is what overtime was. Both teams were just getting shots on goal at will. Both goalies were standing on their head in overtime, and it was just complete chaos. There was hardly any whistles. It felt like there was hardly any icing. There was hardly any frozen pucks. It just felt like time was moving so fast throughout the period. And all of a sudden, 16 and a half minutes have gone by, and you're like, damn, are we really about to go to second overtime? I don't want to do this. I don't want to stay here longer than I have to.
And I think we started the overtime on the PK. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, they had to kill off, I believe, 15 to 20 seconds of a PK at the end of the period.
Yeah, I think it was Rantanen maybe
Yeah, it was a
But
Miko tripping call, which I was really pissed off about because with 5 or 4 minutes left, there was 2 trips from Colorado that were not called on the same possession. 2 different guys, one away from the puck, one with the puck. Both got tripped blatantly. Like it was stick in skates and full on just like they didn't dive, but that's what happened. They dive because they're trying to save their face, essentially. They're trying not to hit their chin on the ground. And they didn't call those. And then with a minute and a half, minute 45 left.
yep,
They called that on Miko. And I was like, if you're going to call that, you had to call the other 2 or one of the other 2
yeah,
4 minutes ago. They didn't do it, but
yeah,
they killed that PK off. Crowd gets nuts right after the PK ended. And they got a good chance off of that one. But yeah, 16 or so minutes had gone by. And I was like, this is going to suck. We're going to go to double OT. I'm going to be here till 1 a.m. before we even get to the locker room. And then I'm going to get home at 2. Like, I just want to go to sleep. I wasn't tired because my adrenaline was so high, but like I knew my body was tired. So it was tough. But OT, man, that fourth line. And I was writing the blog for Apollo, up on Apollo HOU last night in Texas hockey. And my second blurb, really, in the whole blog, before overtime even hits, I wrote this right after the first period. I was like, Colin Blackwell is a must in this lineup. He brings the juice. He just does. He gets in people's heads. He's a pest, and he does things really well on both ends of the ice. You just got to have him in the lineup. Have to. And then that fourth line's out there. About 16 and a half minutes have passed, and they worked really hard to get that puck out of the zone. Really hard. Oscar got it out of the zone. They get it back in the zone. And then all of a sudden, Blackwell gets a pass. I can't remember from who. I think it was Sam Steele, actually. And he has open ice. He's able to get it across the blue line without any issues. He skates over from the left side over to the right side, fires a shot on net. Didn't hit the goalie. It hit Sam Steele and the guy that was tied up with him. And it just sat there. The puck was sitting on the ice, and I saw it. And I was like, can we get to that puck? Is there a possibility? There's 2 Avalanche players right around Colin Blackwell. Colin Blackwell somehow does a little U-turn, gets right back to the puck. The Avalanche guys are lost. They don't know where the puck is. They don't know where Blackwell is. And the puck is sitting there on a golden platter. Sitting there. It's not doing anything. It's just spinning on the ice by itself with 3 or 4 feet in front of Blackwood and in front of the crease. And Blackwell gets up there and he just fires it. It's just the quickest shot I've seen this season, I think. Like, he didn't even see it happen. Hit the top of the net, bounced out immediately. It was over. Game, set, match, series tied 1-1. Colin Blackwell is your overtime hero because, of course, it's Colin Blackwell.
yeah, man. It was nutty. Like, I did not see the puck actually go in. The crowd reacts, the announcers see it, and I'm like about to fall asleep, really, and just run. I ran out of my back door. I that's the only way I could react. Like, there's a Stars fan. I don't know his name, but he watches game. If we score on the power play and he's outside of his house, he'll watch the rest of his game from the window of the backyard. And like, I know it was enormous, the reaction. And that if he got that shot, like you said, the puck was right there, like right there for Tiger Woods to drive it down the fairway. I mean, it was right there. And if he got that shot quick enough, it looked like a robo. When robo's so fast, it just, you don't even see it go in the net. It's already in the net. And that's what it was. And man, everybody who on Twitter, I have a few Colorado Avalanche fans that I follow that I'm friends with, and they had to eat it. Man, like the complaints they had about the refs and how, sometimes the puck was a little too sticky and there's the tripping from Marchment. Like, it was just incredible to tie that game up, because if you go down 0-2, and really for Otter to play that well, and if he had to walk away with a loss, I would have been sick, because Otter really balled out that game. Glove side, nothing was getting past him. And Blackwell, dude, for that fourth line played so well. It was only fitting. It was only fitting that fourth line was going to hit the game winner.
There was 4 fourth line goals out of the 7 goals scored last night. 2 by the Avalanche, 2 by the Stars. So That's the type of game that you get. I wrote it in the blog, but Pete, after the game, said that you spend so much time scouting the team's best players and the big names on the other side that sometimes those guys on the fourth line just don't get enough time and you don't get to scout them enough. And then Colin Blackwell obviously didn't even play game one. He was a healthy scratch. Gets in game two, and he did exactly what Colin Blackwell's done all season. He was a pest, and he made big plays at the right times, or he just made the right play at the right times. And it's kind of what he was all season. He's never going to be flashy. It's never going to be an exceptional goal, but he's going to forecheck really hard, and he's going to back check really hard. He's going to be in the right defensive position, and he's going to be somewhere on offense. He's going to be doing something to either get the puck to Sam or Thomas Harley or whoever it is. And Colin Blackwell, just an awesome story. He had a bunch of concussions in college. He thought about hanging him up. He's a 7th round draft pick, goes to San Jose, and none other than Joe Pavelski told him that he really liked his game and then keep his head up and keep grinding. And it's always been Joe Pavelski. It always goes back to Joe Pavelski. It's always been Joe. It's always been Joe. But to see that emotion, the fist pump with the glide into a jump that I've never seen someone jump higher on skates into the boards after an overtime winner, like, credit to Colin Blackwell for celebrating as hard as he did. He deserves it. He's been an awesome player for the Stars this year, whether he's a healthy scratch or he's on the ice. He's been a consummate pro, and I love Blackie. He's been awesome to me and all the other media people in the locker room, and it was just an awesome moment for him. And obviously, we talked about an overtime winner in our preview about the series that it was going to be Mikko or Dutchy, and it was going to be a ex-Colorado Avalanche that scores that overtime winner. But I wouldn't have it any other way. Colin Blackwell deserves it. He's a blast of a guy. I love him.
Yeah, and we said it before the series started. Our experience in overtime, it's going to matter when a game like this, where the margins are so thin and the stars are real stars. PK Subban kind of previewed Game 3. And I agree with him so much. So we all know Stankoven's doing his thing in Carolina. I'm very happy for him. Yep. But they're going to ESPN's going to pepper Dallas fans with what's been happening with Stankoven. And, I still think Mikko's been playing well, but PK Subban laid it out the best. This is not different from the NBA. Your stars have to be stars when it matters. My Rockets can't find a single person to score 20 points in a basketball game right now. I knew this was going to happen, but man, we were the 2 seed and people are telling us that our best scorer is right around the 30s or 40s in the NBA right now. Mm-hmm. And it's tough, but they're right. They're right. To win games like this, your stars have to play like stars. And you can steal one game, with your fourth line. You can't do it for a whole series. You need Mikko Rantanen. You need Tyler Seguin looked great, but really I need to see playoff Mikko Rantanen. And I thought his third period was really good. He's doing really good in the blue line. It's tough to get entries, and he's doing really good at kind of maneuvering his big ass body and getting passes where they need to be. Granlund left his feet on one of those hits. If we can continue that physical play, and if Blackwell looks like this for the rest of the series, our fourth line is going to eat Colorado's fourth line.
Yeah. Like you said with the Stars, you get a goal from Tyler Seguin, they got a goal from Nathan MacKinnon. That's even in my mind. Tyler Seguin is older. I know he's coming back from injury, but he's still a star. He's been there for 11 years now or 12 years. I don't know. Been there forever. And he's one of the guys that the fans just love him more than almost anyone on the team. His smile, his joking around in the locker room, all the things you see out of Tyler Seguin, the fans just love him. But the thing is, it's we're not a very physical team. We haven't been over the last few years. Been more of a finesse team, and you're trying to just pass and get quality shots on goal. Last night was greasy, and it was physical. Both teams had 45 hits last night. The NHL average for a regular season game is 62. There were 90 hits last night in that game, and we matched them hit for hit, 45 hits for each team. And Mikko Rantanen was part of that. Mikael Granlund was part of that. Matt Duchene was throwing hits. The fourth line's obviously going to throw their hits. They love to do that. Jamie Benn was killing people. We were physical, and we went to the net, and we got greasy goals. And that's what we didn't have in game one, which game one, we lose 5-1. It wasn't a 5-1 game. I believe we outplayed them pretty good. I think we had the better chances. Blackwood just stood on his head like exceptionally. And the 2 goals that Jake let in to start that game, it was weird goals. One was a bicycle kick. Cristiano Ronaldo showed up, a bicycle kick into the net, and they counted it. Whatever. Pete DeBoer said he thought it was a good goal because he got upended and it wasn't intentional, but hell of a kick, hell of a goal. He should be playing soccer. But and then the second one, it went off of Labushkin's shorts. And just normally when that happens, the puck goes up 30 feet. And that one decided to go down a couple of feet and knuckled into it. Was a muffin. It muffined after it got hit by Labushkin and it went in the net. So I can't blame Jake on those. And game one was a bit of a dud. The crowd was really good to start the game and into the second period. And then after that, it was kind of just over. So you're down 0-1. You needed that win. And for it to be an overtime winner and for a guy like Colin Blackwell, where the guys just love him, I thought it was huge. I think so. Game 3, Landeskog skated last night. Let's point that out. He skated for the first time in over 1,000 days, I believe. It's been 3 years since he's played hockey in the NHL. He hasn't played since the last game of the Stanley Cup Finals in 22 when they won. He skated last night, and I was like, interesting. And the other thing that was very interesting is that they should have had to forfeit that game because they put the wrong lineup card out there. They activated Landeskog and deactivated Miles Wood. Miles Wood played last night. Landeskog did not. That is what was on the NHL website. That was what was given to the Stars. Thought that was very interesting that Landeskog did not play last night and Miles Wood did. However, Landeskog's going to play game 3. It's going to happen. You're going to have the home crowd getting their captain back, and you've got to weather that storm the first 10 minutes of the game. And I think if you can weather that storm the first 10 minutes of the game with the crowd hyped to have their captain back for the first time in 3 whole years, if you can get past that, you're going to win that game.
Yeah, and Jake Oettinger's got to keep this role. I mean, his positioning is great, but his recovery from one side of the net to the other looked Smith is really fast, and because he's so fast, sometimes when you watch Otter after the Smith game, you're like, Otter looks kind of slow, but it's not really the case. It's just that Smith is so quick.
In comparison to Otter. Otter is 6'5", and Casey's 6 foot, maybe.
Yeah, and Otter looked like the Smith going from post to post last night, and he's got to keep it rolling. But really, just Colorado's a team that preys on you to make the mistake. If you combat that with continuing those physical hits, that Bishop, that really the whole team, and Granlund was out there doing it. Jamie, be vintage Jamie. Just go out there, and if this is a title fight, this is 5 rounds, go out there and take them down in the first. Go out there and have it in their mind that as this game goes, you're going to have to stay on the track with us. And if we play like we did, I think game 2 was a huge improvement from game 1. I think if you're looking at Colorado, they played a good game, but they didn't step up after that game 1 game, which the score will say they played great. I don't think so. I mean, you give a team that many penalties, they're going to score goals. This is the NHL, and they're a former Stanley Cup champion for a reason. I think if you just go out there and start like you did, if this is the 4th period, I think the Stars have a really good shot at taking game 3, even with the crowd. And they were mentioning it like they were surprised he was up in a suite and not on the ice. They could have used him, but luckily they didn't. And the first 10 minutes of this game is going to be more important than ever for both teams.
Yeah, you just got to weather that storm. Like, obviously in the bubble when Steven Stamkos came back in game 3 or 4 or whenever it was, and they scored within 3 minutes of that game starting, Stammer did. So that was a big boost for their team. There's no crowd involved in that, and they were obviously in the bubble up in Western Canada. So if you can just weather the storm, just weather the crowd for the first 10 minutes, get Otter a couple of good saves, and then you can get a couple good shots. They just were greasier last night than Colorado was. They were greasier in game 1, but they weren't greasy enough. They didn't do it enough until like the 3rd period, and then it was kind of over after that. So if you can just stay what that game plan that you did in game 2, It's like get to the net, fling the puck at the net. It doesn't have to be the extra pass. I thought that was the issue in game one, is the extra passes. Like they do that in the regular season. They set up incredible goals from doing the extra pass, and it happens in the regular season, but this is playoff hockey now. If you have an open lane, don't take the extra pass. Just shoot it. I thought Wyatt Johnson needed to shoot it a few times last night. He had 2 or 3 opportunities where if he just would have fired the puck and one less deke, you get a decent shot on goal, and then you got a trailing guy to go get the rebound, and things could have happened. But he did one extra deke, and then the puck was lost. And I think Wyatt's going to learn from that. He's going to look at the iPad. He's going to figure that out in film and understand, like, hey, if I just do that 1 or 2 less times, I can get a good shot on the goal. And if it gets past him, great. If not, it's probably going to be a rebound, and either Daddy or Jamie's going to be right there, and you got a chance. So stop doing the extra pass, keep getting to the net, and keep firing shots on net. I mean, they had, 37, 38 shots on goal last night? Colorado had 35. I get that. But you outshot someone for the first time in a long time with really good quality shots as well. So I thought that was important to get the Stars back into it and get greasy, get gross, and go win some more hockey games. It's going to be good.
Yeah, and I think Colorado has done a really good job scouting, because Matt Duchene, we both know this, he loves to handle the puck in certain parts of the ice. Colorado knew it, and it was really like I'd see Duchene get to his favorite spot. It's already shut down. But they it's already shut down. So I'm actually looking to see, change it up a little bit from Duchene. I bet you he gives us a really good game. I bet you he gives us a really good pass like we know he can do. And somebody like, Granlund's going to hit a quick wrister. Somebody like if Sagan scores another goal, I might order that jersey that you have on right now. I don't know where to find it because I know they're not sold right now, but I'll find a way.
I've got it on. I got Sagi on today. So it's a great game. It's a greasy game. It's a nervous game, anxious game. But they get the win. Your series is tied 1-1. I know you've lost 8 game ones in a row. You had lost 8 games in a row at that point, and you got that game back, and that's all you needed. Fourth line got it done for you, and Sagi got you one. Dadonov got you one, and that's kind of what you ask for in a playoff game. Is like greasy goals have to happen. So just keep being greasy, keep being gross, keep getting to the net, fire shots on net. You do that, get past the first 10 minutes, and I have a really good feeling about that game. If the first 10 minutes go poorly and Landeskog effect is happening, then it's on to game 4, and we'll be all right. But we'll be back to recap game 3 on Thursday. It's NFL draft day. I know for you got work to do, but we're going to get it done after that game. It's going to be a late night again, but at least I get to watch it on the couch and not in a press box in a suit. So looking forward to that. But we'll be back Thursday to recap game 3. We're going to try to do each and every game unless it's an absolute dud like game 1, and we didn't really need to do it on Easter Sunday. So it is what it is. Series is tied 1-1. Move on. Get to game 3. Do it again. Get some more wins. But this has been Clean Sheet of Ice, the Texas Hockey Podcast. Thank you to our sponsor, Zing Zang, America's #1 Bloody Mary mix. Love their ready-to-drink cans. Love the Bloody Mary mix. It's America's #1 Bloody Mary mix for a reason. Zang responsibly with Zing Zang. And shout out to Prize Picks. Use code Apollo when you sign up and get to $100 matched on your first deposit. With Prize Picks, it's our daily fantasy app of choice. It should be yours as well. Use code Apollo when you sign up. Tom, thank you for joining me. Stars, thank you for winning in overtime, even though it was past midnight. Really enjoyed that. We'll be back very, very soon with another episode of Clean Sheet of Ice, Texas Hockey Podcast.